Today we're doing lesson 3.13, fractional measurements on line plots. So we've talked about the math warm-up on page 59 and talked about the different rulers and how they've added tick marks each time to make smaller sizes and more precise measurements. Now we've skipped ahead to page number 62. You need to be on page 62. If you're not on page 62, get there. Okay. On page 62, it says Andre's class measured the length of some colored pencils to the nearest 1/4 inch. The data are shown here. So we have, I'm going to have you say these numbers with me. Not right now. Okay, say this with me. 1 3/4. 2 1/4. 5 1/4. 5 1/4. Macy? 4 2/4. 4 2/4. 6 1/4. 6 3/4. 6 3/4. 6 3/4. Okay, because all day long I've been having kids say 6 3/4. There's a space here. 6 3/4. Okay, you have to, when you say it, read a mixed number, Colton, you have to say and. You don't need to be writing yet. Okay. It says plot the colored pencil data on the line plot. So down here we have a line plot, and each one of these measurements is going to get an X. Okay? So we're going to start with 1 3/4. So that's 1 whole and 3/4. What do you notice about all of these fractions, Haziel? Exactly right, Haziel, give yourself a point. Every fraction has a 4 as the denominator. Okay, what do you notice about the number of parts in each whole on our line plot? Mary? They're all split into 4. That makes it handy, right? So, 1 3/4. This would be 1 1/4. 1 2/4, 1 3/4. So we're going to put an X above the tick mark that's right before the 2. Pick up your pencil now, Zarona. 1 I keep forgetting to make this big enough. 1 3/4. Okay? And then we're going to make a tick mark because that one's done. Then we do 2 1/4. So we go to the 2 holes, and it's 1 more 4th past the 2 holes. Okay? Then we do 5 holes and 1/4. Then we do 5 holes and 1/4 again. So we stack another X on top. Then we do 4 holes and 2/4. Which is equivalent to 4 1/2, right? 4 2/4 is the same as 4 1/2, so it's right in the middle between 4 and 5. Then we have 4 2/4 again. 6 1/4. 6 3/4. 6 3/4. 6 3/4. Now that we have built our line plot, can we answer questions?
Yes.
Which colored pencil length is the most common in the data set? Fisher?
6 3/4.
Nice job. How did you know that was the most common measurement in the data set?
Because it has the most X's on top of it.
Beautiful. Exactly right. So give yourself a point for that. write 2 new questions that you could answer with this line plot. What's another question that you could answer, Haziel? No, we're making up questions now. So we've already answered that which colored pencil length is the most common. So that's that one. What's another question that we could determine the answer using our line plot? Jackson?
Which one has the least X's?
Okay, but we've got 3 of them. So, we're looking for one that will just have a single answer. Or that, Audrey?
Find the 2 that share the same amount of X's.
Okay, we could do that. What else? Avis?
How many X's are in total?
Not X's. Let's refer to them what they
How
represent.
many?
What do those X's stand for? What do the X's stand for?
A colored pencil.
How many colored pencils were measured? For sure, that would work. How many colored pencils? Write that down. How many colored pencils were measured?
That's what I was going to say.
Good. And how can you determine how many colored pencils they measured? Evan?
Add up the ones that have X's.
Count the X's, right? So 1 pencil, 2 pencils, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pencils. So that's a good question because we can answer it with a single answer. Okay. What's one other question that we could answer with this data? Jackson? Did you lose it?
Yeah, there's more than
What, honey?
There's more than one.
Okay, gotcha. Fisher?
How many
Say that again.
How many groups does each have?
I'm not sure how you would answer that. Audrey?
How many X's are on the biggest number?
We've kind of already dealt with the biggest number. Think of other information this line plot gives you. Evan?
How much fractions don't have X's?
Jackson?
What section of holes has the least amount of X's?
What about what's the shortest pencil measured? Could we determine that?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? What's the shortest pencil length that was measured? Okay, so let's write that down.
Wasn't that basically what I said?
No. That's not what you asked. What pencil length is the shortest? And that answer would be what? Colton? Nice job. That's exactly right. We could also answer the question, what's the difference between the longest pencil measured and the shortest? So we'd have to do some work, but we could take the longest measurement, which is 6 3/4, and take away the shortest, which is 1 3/4. So what's the difference? A lot of the times that's something they will have you do. I believe on the test that's something that you'll have to do. So the longest pencil length was 1 3/4. The shortest was 1 3/4. So what's 3/4 size pieces? Take away 3/4 size pieces give you 0. Okay, what's 6 minus 5? Or 6 minus 1 is 5. Is it 50?
No, it's not.
So we have to be careful with fractions that you don't put a 0, Evan, because otherwise we're going to have that one pencil is 50 inches longer than another. So that would mean that one pencil is about this much longer than another. So, so we don't want to put the 0. If you want it as a placeholder, you could just write 0/4. Okay, but I would just leave it off there. So that's the difference. Okay, now what we're going to do is go back to page 60, and we're going to do some measuring. We're going to do the first one together, and then I'm going to let you guys do one with your group, okay? So here's what I want you to write down. On page 60. Everybody on page 60?
Yes.
Put your arms in your sleeves. Okay. And I want you to write down these group members. Mickey, Minnie, Donald,
Goofy.
Goofy,
Pluto.
and Pluto. Okay, so those are the members of our group that are measuring pencil lengths. Now, that's Donald Duck on there.
That's Donald.
Nope, I was doing Disney characters. Okay.
Mickey Mouse.
Okay. All right. So colored pencil lengths. So this is Mickey's pencil. Okay. I'm gonna start on the inches side. I know. Okay. And let me see if it helps to turn the light on. It may make it worse. I don't know. Okay. So here we go. If we put the back of the pencil on at the 0. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, now can you guys see up here how I've drawn darker lines on my ruler?
Yes.
Okay, so the longer ones are 4ths and the shorter ones are 8ths. Okay, so this goes right here, doesn't it? You see the end of the pencil? It matches up about right there. So that would be 4 and 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Okay? So for Mickey, I want you to write 4 and 3/4. Then that's for Mickey. And then here is Minnie's pencil. Minnie has a little pencil. And her pencil is broken. Okay, so we have, this would be 1/4, or so it's 2 and 1/4, 2/4. Which do you think would be better, 1/4 or 2/4?
2/4.
2/4. Okay, we'll do 2/4. 2 and 2/4. Can you see why 8 will help us in just a minute?
Yeah.
Because that's really right between 1/4 and 2/4. So, or, yeah. Okay. Then we had Donald Duck. And here is his pencil. Okay, right here. And we're just doing fourths now. So we're just doing these. So I would say 4 and 1/4, 2/4. 4 and 2/4. Okay, which is equivalent to 4 1/2. And then we had Goofy. Okay. And Goofy has a longer pencil. And let's see here. Okay, so this would be 5, 5 and 1/4, 5 and 2/4. Okay. Make sure I started at 0. Oh, I did not.
Oh.
Let me look again. So, yeah, 5 and 2/4. And then we have Pluto. Okay. And this is Pluto's. And Pluto's is about 4 and 1/4. Okay. Now, and then we can make a line plot with those. So let me go back. Okay, here we go. So for Mickey, we got 4 and 3/4. Write that down if you haven't already. For Minnie, we got 2 and 2/4. For Donald, we got 4 and 2/4. For Goofy, 5 and 2/4. And for Pluto, 4 and 1/4. And now we're going to plot those points on a line plot. Okay? So let's do Mickey's first at 4 and 3/4. So there's going to be an X at 4 and 3/4 right here. Put your X down. You got it? Okay. Not on the line. It's going to be above the line.
Oh.
So erase that and put it above the line. That's why I didn't see it. Okay, next 2 and 2/4. So that's going to be right here. 4 and 2/4. 5 and 2/4. And then 4 and 1/4. So because there's not a double on this, we wouldn't be able to say which one do you see the most. So instead, we might answer the question of what's the difference in the biggest and the smallest? Difference tells you to do what? Subtract. So the biggest one is at 5 and 2/4. And the smallest one is 2 and 2/4. So 2/4 minus 2/4 is nothing. And 5 minus 2, 3. So 3 inches difference in the biggest and the smallest.
Wow, that's a lot. Wow.
3 inches?
That's big. Oh, it's small. Yeah, it is.
No, it's big for 3.
Yeah, it's big for 3 inches. That's a big difference for this.
Well.
Okay. All right. So in just a second, you guys are gonna get into groups of 5. One group will have 4, and I'll assign your groups. Audrey, turn around. And then you're going to measure, but you're going to measure the pencils I give you into 8s, which means you're going to use not all the lines, because how many lines are there between 0 and 1 hole on your ruler on the inch side? Everybody get your ruler, pick it up, look at the 0 and 1 hole. Count the number of sections between 0 and 1 hole. What are they, Jackson?
There's 20?
No, there is not. Fisher?
8.
No, Jackson.
Wait. I counted.
Haziel?
15.
Nope. Todd?
4.
No, Autry. 16. There's 16. We're gonna look at that closer because right. Okay. So right here. All right. Let's count them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's start at 1 and count up to 2. So there's 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space, 6 space, 7 space, 8 space, and that's right in the middle. So halfway is 8.
is 16.
So the rest there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 parts. So we're not going to use all of the lines. We're going to use 8s, which means we're using not the shortest ones. We're using the second shortest one. So this would be 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. Or 1 hole. Okay? All right, so you're gonna measure your pencils. Once you get your measurement, you're gonna write it down in your chart next to your name after I look at it and make sure you measure it right. Okay? All right, let me turn this off.